Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're building something really cool, a complete Sudoku game in Flutter from scratch. This isn't just a basic grid. We're building a production-ready app with all the features you'd expect from a professional puzzle game. Let me show you what we're creating. Here's our finished Sudoku app. Let me walk you through all the features. First, the basics. You can select any empty cell by tapping it. Notice how it highlights the cell and also highlights the entire row, column, and the 3x3 box it's in. This makes it easier to see potential conflicts. Now we can enter numbers using this number pad at the bottom. When it's correct, it shows in blue. And if I enter a wrong number, see, it shows in red. That's our error detection system. But maybe you don't want to see errors. You want to figure it out yourself. No problem. This eye icon toggles error display on and off. See? Now the wrong numbers don't show in red anymore. Now here's something really useful, notes mode, also called pencil marks. Let me turn this on. Now when I tap numbers, instead of filling the cell, it adds little notes in the corners. These help you track which numbers could go in a cell. When I turn notes off and place an actual number, it automatically clears those notes. Smart, right? Made a mistake? No problem. We have unlimited undo. Watch, I can undo my last move, and the one before that, and keep going back. This is tracked in our move history. Stuck on a difficult cell? Use the hint feature. First, select the cell you need help with. Then tap hint, and boom, it fills in the correct number. The app tracks how many hints you use, which shows in your stats up here. Speaking of stats, look at the top. We track hints used and total moves. Great for challenging yourself to improve. If you want to start over on the same puzzle, hit reset board. It asks for confirmation. We don't want accidental resets, and then clears all your entries while keeping the original clues. Want a new puzzle? Tap the settings icon and you get to choose your difficulty level. We have easy, medium, and hard puzzles. Let me start a hard puzzle. There we go. Fresh puzzle. Timer resets. Everything starts clean. Now let me quickly solve this puzzle to show you the win screen. And when we complete it, boom, congratulations. The app detects you've won, shows your completion time, and how many hints you used. Plus, you can immediately start a new game. Alright, let's start building. First, we need to create a new Flutter project. I'm calling it Sudoku app. Feel free to name it whatever you like. This will take a moment to create the project structure. First thing we need to do is add our dependencies. Open pubspec.yaml. This is where we manage all our packages. Find the dependencies section, and right after Flutter, we're going to add shared_preferences. Shared preferences is what lets us save and load game data. We're using version 2.5.3. You can use the latest version if there's a newer one available. Let's create our folder structure. In Flutter, organizing our code into folders is crucial for maintainability. Let me show you the structure we're building. First, right-click on lib, select New Folder, and type Models. Hit Enter. Perfect. Now let's create our model files. Right-click on Models, New File, and type Sudoku puzzle.dart. This file will hold the structure of a Sudoku puzzle, the initial board, solution, and difficulty. Now create another file in models called GameState.dart. This will track the player's progress, move history, and all the dynamic game data. Awesome. Models folder is done. We have 2 files ready to fill in. Let's move to the next folder. Back to lib, create a new folder called Data. Inside Data, create a file called puzzlelibrary.dart. This file will contain all our Sudoku puzzles, easy, medium, and hard. We'll have multiple puzzles per difficulty level. Looking good! 2 folders down, 3 to go. Create a new folder called Services. Inside Services, create StorageService.dart. This service will handle all our save and load operations using shared preferences. Clean separation of concerns. Next up, Widgets. Create a folder called Widgets. This will hold all our reusable UI components. We need 4 widget files. Let me create them. First, Sudoku grid.dart. This will be the main 9x9 grid container. Next, Sudoku cell.dart. This is a single cell in the grid. Each grid has 81 of these. Then, numberpad.dart, the number input buttons at the bottom. And finally, controlbuttons.dart. That's our undo, notes, and hint buttons. Perfect! 4 widget files ready to go. 1 more folder. Last folder, Create Screens. Inside Screens, create Sudoku Game Screen.dart. This is our main game screen where everything comes together. This will be a stateful widget that manages the game state and connects all our widgets. And there we have it, our complete project structure. 10 files, 5 folders, perfectly organized. Now let's code. Alright, let's start with the entry point of our application, the main.dart file. This is where everything begins in a Flutter app. First, we need 2 imports. The material package gives us all the Flutter widgets we'll need, and we're importing our game screen, which we'll create later. The main function is the entry point. We call WidgetsFlutterBinding ensure initialized. This is important because we'll be using shared preferences to save game data, and we need to make sure Flutter is fully initialized before we access any platform-specific features. Then, we call runApp with our Sudoku app widget. This starts the app. Now we create our main app widget. This is a stateless widget because it never changes, it just sets up our app configuration. In the build method, we return a MaterialApp. This is the root of our Flutter application. We give it a title, Sudoku Master. Then we set up our theme. I'm using indigo as the primary color. It gives our app a nice, professional look. The adaptive platform density ensures our app looks good on different screen sizes. Finally, we set the home page to our Sudoku Game screen. This is where all the game logic will live. And that's it! Our main.dart is complete. It's clean, simple, and does exactly what it needs to. Initialize the app and set up our theme. Now that we have our app entry point ready, in the next episode we will start creating our data models. These will define how we structure our Sudoku puzzles and game state. So if you find this project interesting, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. It really helps me to continue making more videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode. Happy coding!